You know, something I love talking about is human complexity. Obviously, as individuals, we're all very complicated and very unique in the way that we walk and talk, our creed, our shape, our color, our orientation, religion, etc. But as a species, as human beings, we're really not all that complicated. We need the necessities like food, water, shelter, and community. But it's that fourth thing. It's community that somewhere along the way, we've just forgotten how necessary it is for us. We are community-based organisms. That being said, it's as simple as the fact that we all need each other. We need people in our corner. We need family. If you feel like you don't have that, I promise you do with me. Be part of my family. Be my friend.
Yo, the merch line is out. Be my friend. Be my friend. I'll show you another piece of the merch a little bit later. I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. I'm sure I'll be taking my hoodie off at some point in time. This first drop, and I put an emphasis on the word first, is very much an introduction. That's why it's limited. We're making it. We're giving everybody a window. If you feel so inclined to get in early and be a part of the OG drop, we're gonna this line is gonna go. All right. When the timeline is up, you guys can see the countdown online on the link. But when that's up, that's it for this line. Right? Worry you not, for I have plans. In my saying I have plans, what I mean is that we are already starting the process for the next drop, which is going to be very, very different. But this right here, I mean it. I was talking to a couple of my team members yesterday, but specifically my dear friend Veronica, who's my stylist, that also helped me design this line. I was telling her that I really feel like this is the most honest and the most transparent thing for me, where I am concerned, where Jordan is concerned, that I've ever put out. It feels the most me. Salty with a 555, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Happy birthday. Is there a design on the back of the Be My Friend hoodie design you're wearing? The second picture. Oh, it doesn't work for me on the site for any of my friends. Thank you. Okay, cool. Let's see, actually. I don't know. I know on some of them we do. This one does not. The Be My Friend hoodie does not have a design on the back. But we have this right here. And then we're going to talk about this, actually. Y'all want to talk about that for a second? Have y'all noticed this in any of the pictures? Y'all seen that heart there? Okay, so here's what's cool. We have this 8-bit heart that I actually own now, which is awesome because I like collecting rights for things. That's like one of my favorite hobbies, is collecting rights and copyrights and trademarks and whatnot. I just like to collect them. Oh, with the signature, not on this design, on the white one, we have the signature, and that's my actual handwriting. So we have this 8-bit heart. So let's chat about that for a second. Basically, the heart itself, it means it's two very meaningful things for me. The heart itself, and the reason why I have it on the sleeve, and the reason why all of my stuff has this little 8-bit heart and will moving forward. This is going to be a staple. You're like any J Fish merch that you see. It might be monochromatic, you know. It might just be like shaded to match the color of whatever piece that you have or that you're wearing. And it's only on the left arm as well, because I'm going to get to that in a second. It's my reminder personally, and I actually have. Okay, so I'll talk about the second point first. Hold on, I'll talk about the second point first. I'm wearing another piece of my merch right now underneath that I'll show you guys a little bit more of later. But you see this right here, all right? So you've got the heart right there. Can you guys see that? Why is it placed here, Jordan? That's very odd. Shouldn't it be more centered? Shouldn't it be like on the front? Shouldn't it be more on the shoulder? Why do you have it right there? Because I have tattooed a heart in the same place. And it's my reminder to wear my heart on my sleeve. The reason why it's on my left arm is because it's the closest to the chordal artery. It's the most important artery that leads to the heart. It's my reminder to wear my heart on my sleeve. And people talk about that. People talk about, oh, you shouldn't wear your heart on your sleeve. You should wear your heart on your sleeve. You should be an emotional individual. You should be concerned about how you feel, what you portray, like how, and what you give to other people, how they're receiving it, how you're receiving it. It's just, it's a really great reminder to drop the shit, really, at the end of the day. I feel like we all have like a really bad habit, especially online, of pretending like we're like the hardest people, we're the coldest people. We type in lowercase letters with no punctuation so that we look and sound as dry as possible, as if we don't care. And it's such a coping mechanism, and it's such a defensive mechanism, and we do it. And the moment that somebody, especially a guy, says something that is like slightly emotional or sentimental or heartfelt or wholesome at all, it's usually met with some like 15-year-old keyboard warrior that's like cringe or whatever. And it is just the stupid, like, I wish that people recognized how stupid it looks and sounds. Like, it makes you look so daft. It makes you look like an idiot, when in actuality you could just be like a kind person. Oh, can you imagine how different would the world be if all the kids out there and grown-ass individuals that pretend to be the hardest, like, think they're the funniest, driest, trying to ratio everyone individual, what if they turned around and those keyboard warriors turned into like the softest, kindest, loveliest people? Like, the internet would be so different. The internet would be so different. Tell me, man, PTSD from Modern Warfare. Oh, dude, Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, bro. I don't mind the shit talk. I've got that on deck. Like, I can handle that in spades. It's the racism. I have a really sad story, actually. I just recently uninstalled Rust. I was excited to play it with some of my homies, like Morg, Austin, Kurt, Greg, a couple of our friends. We were on the server getting ready for this big wipe, and we're gonna do the thing. It was great. And my first night on, I killed someone and went up to their body, and they said F and N-word to me. And I was like, okay, turn the voice chat off. I just did. Thing is, like, where Rust is concerned, especially, it's the most of the experience, I guess, like the centerpiece of your Rust experience and playership is being able to like communicate with people. You know what I'm saying? You're running up on somebody, you got a Glock in your hand, you're like, hey, get on the ground. Like, you can do stuff with that. Like, it's the role play of Rust. It's that proximity chat, that interaction that you can have with other players that like are trying to kill you or trying to make a base or whatever the case may be. And I had been told that there's a good like 15% of the playership in Rust are all just like explicitly racist. So anyway, I turned the voice chat off, and I told my friends, I was like, oh, I'll give another shot tomorrow. They're like, dude, like, and it was the very first person I came in contact with outside of my group too. That was the thing. They were like, just so you know, like, people are idiots on here, and we'll say some shit. And I'm like, all right. And I think what happened in that night, I turned the voice chat off, and I realized in that moment, I was like, oh man, that's like really a trigger for me. Obviously, I grew up in Alabama. I've had a lot of experiences. I've had a lot of racism experiences. Been pulled over before with my white girlfriend in high school being in the car, and the cop questioning me and her, asking me like who I am and where I'm taking her and all of that stuff. I've had people refuse my service in retail when I worked at Finish Line and in GameStop. That was more so at GameStop, unfortunately. Of course, like, I had allies, people, I've told you guys these stories before, but anyway, I realized that it was a trigger for me. Hearing that word, like, especially when it's directed to me, and like all my homies that I was playing with, I was like, listen, I love you guys, you will never know what it feels like. There's nothing. There's nothing that could happen to any of my white friends in that way, where someone says a word directed to that person and they know what it feels like. It's insane. Because it's farce when it's white people talking to white people. Of course, it's just racist, but it's, white person's not going to look at another white person and call them the N-word and expect for that other white person to be like personally offended. It's not the case, They might be an ally and a warrior for BIPOC. But yeah, it was good for me to have that recognition of like, okay, like that really does trigger me. So my homies were like, yeah, like, that super sucks. They were obviously like pissed with me and for me and all of that stuff. But they were like, that's insane that was your first interaction with somebody. Like, it's just not like that. It's not like that typically. So I logged on the next day. Got on the next day, and there's a town where you can't pull out any guns, you can't hurt anybody. It's basically just like a safe zone. It's a sanctuary, and we'd had like a couple of interactions with other people earlier in the night, and we were chilling. Everything was going well. We're actually having a good time. We're like having fun and vibing out, and I'm in this town, and there are a couple of, when you spawn in, you have like, kind of like a randomized character, and you could be any color or gender or whatever. And there were these two players that were running into town, obviously like teenage white boys, like probably late teen white boys. I guess them to be around like 18, 19. And they were like pretending to be slaves, like in a plantation, like using an accent, and they were like, we can't do anything. Like we're just a couple effing monkeys. So I Alt F4'd and uninstalled, and that sucks. It's obviously a much bigger conversation that we could have and go into, but I'm gonna elect to not today. It's my birthday. I want to feel really good. So either way, how old am I? I'm 27 years old. Yeah. So I say all that to say. It sucks that there are some games that I simply just can't play.
Something I love talking about is human complexity. Obviously, as individuals, we're all very complicated and very unique in the way that we walk and talk, our creed, our shape, our color, our orientation, religion, etc. But as a species, as human beings, we're really not all that complicated. We need the necessities like food, water, shelter, and community. But it's that fourth thing. It's community that somewhere along the way, we've just forgotten how necessary it is for us. We are community-based organisms. That being said, it's as simple as the fact that we all need each other. We need people in our corner. We need family. If you feel like you don't have that, I promise you do with me. Be part of my family. Be my friend.